Hey, I hope you had a pretty good week. So, I know that some of you have been talking to me about your company's credit and how you're working on building it. I want to remind you that registering to become a vendor with the states that I have listed in the book will help you tremendously in establishing. So, what the whole system is regarding your corporate credit is becoming a viable entity. Viable meaning that you can be found on the surface searches for corporations. So when they go in to look for firstly the validity, the actual existence of your corporation, because they do that first, it'll be easy to find you because you're registered with a variation of states throughout the region. You'll see how I have it set up there. I think I've got Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Mississippi. That's to set you up in the region. Okay, that's the first thing. Then, secondly, I have you to register with the Small Business Administrative Center. Okay, you're doing that because they're going to go and they're going to put your company everywhere. They're going to put your company everywhere so that there's a huge electronic footprint for your company. So, just being in business for several years doesn't mean anything if when you go to apply for credit you can't even be found, like your company doesn't even exist. Yeah, they get reports that show up like the company doesn't even exist. Making sure that you file your state withholding taxes, not just your federal tax returns, but your state withholding taxes. That setting up your My Alabama taxes. I think I walked you through that. If you don't have your My Alabama taxes. I know we did your business privilege tax in the same screen, the My Alabama taxes. But if you've not gotten access to your withholding account, you need to let me know so we can walk you through that because every quarter, the first month after every quarter, you need to report your withholding tax. What you're saying to the state is, no, I didn't have any employees, so I didn't withhold any taxes. Or, yes, I am an employee of my company, so I have at least one employee, and I did receive a salary, and I did withhold X number of dollars, or I have X number of employees, and I have withheld taxes from their wages to pay the state, and this is how much. You want to get those reports out, whether it's zero or whatever the number is. You want to get those reports out every quarter during the first month afterwards. Why? Because that, if you go right now to try to buy a car with your corporation and you have a state withholding account, you can do it because the finance manager will want to find you. They're going to want to find you. And once they can find you as an employer, then they know that there's revenue coming in, there's credibility there. And for a car, they'll extend you credit. So for just a few thousand more, you can purchase real estate. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So it's a way to go about doing it. So I want to talk to you today about some things regarding, let's see, I may share my screen with you, or I may just do it this way. Some things regarding so I used to work for Advantage Credit. Advantage Credit is a part of the federal credit reporting agencies. Okay, that was my job, to create credit supplements for people who wanted to get mortgage loans, who wanted to qualify for mortgage loans. That's right, that's me. Okay, so um, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the way that you can improve your credit, and I tell you guys all the time, this is what I do. That's why I try to get you to sign up with Smart Credit, the credit monitoring company, and send me your login information. So if you sign up and you don't send me your login information, I can't go into your account. When you send me your login information, I can go into your account, I can review your credit report, and then I can proceed with these steps. First step being sending out an initial letter. So when we talk about repairing credit under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, we're talking about being able to send out specific dispute letters and follow the formal procedures that's outlined by the federal law. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is send out a letter. The first letter I would normally send out is the form letter 609. It's a request for verification of the derogatory credit that's reported on the document, on your credit report. They're going to have to send out proof, some type of verification to verify how they're solidifying that credit. So the first thing we do to verify the accuracy is we want them to verify the full name, address, and social security number of the person, and then specific account that's in question. Yeah. And then whatever the original documentation was, that's, you're going to lose a lot of creditors right there. A lot of creditors right there, because they may have some of the information, but may not have the original documentation because they've exchanged hands in terms of ownership. Documentation has been lost. They're banking on the fact that nobody's going to ask for the original documentation, even though by law in this formal letter, the 609 letter, it requests that information. Yeah. Yeah. And this is when we're talking about working on the credit of the individual so that you could be a personal guarantor on your corporate loan. Yeah. So you can either qualify to purchase the real estate yourself or big ticket item, whatever it may be. You may need a corporate car, company car. But you can either purchase it yourself or you could bypass a lot of the credit requirements and set your company up to purchase that big ticket items. All they would need would be a personal guarantor with 600, 640, 680 rating. Yeah, and that number is dropping consistently. Okay. All right. But this first letter that we send out is the 609 letter. Remember, I told you guys at the beginning when you started with me, I tell everybody the same thing. I can do this for you. You need to sign up with the credit monitoring company with which I'm an affiliate. When you sign up, send me your login information. I gotta have, don't just sign up. Sign up and send me your login information so I can go into your report, see what type of report you have there, let you know what type of letters we need to send out. Now, that is a separate fee from this course that we're taking, but it's a small fee. I just added on to the fee. So if you're paying $70 per session for your course, I know some of you are paying $85 per session for your course. And then some of you are paying, it depends on what you're getting. So the smallest amount is the $70. So if you're paying $70, you're not getting as much as what the person is paying $85 a month. Those are different course curriculum plans. But we could add on to your course plan an additional, what, $30, $40 a month. It's not much. And then now I'm sorry, yeah, $30, $40 a month. And now you're able to have the credit reporting service as well. Okay. It depends on how much work you need. I think the maximum amount that you would pay per month for this would be like $65. And that's because of where your rating is and where you're trying to get your rating to. Okay. It just depends on how many points we're dealing with, what the point spread is. Okay. All right, but it's a nominal fee. It's very easy to get done. All right. So a lot of the credit bureaus they're going to respond within 30 to 45 days. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's another type of dispute letter. That's the very first one that we send out. Now, if they don't respond within 30 to 45 days, then it's coming off of there anyway. You ain't even got to worry about it. But if they do respond, then we take the information that they respond with and we send out a dispute letter. That's a 611 form. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that's a 611 form. So what we're going to do is we're going to formally dispute the validity of the verifiable information or items that they have sent back to us. Yeah, so when we identify any kind of errors, it could be minute. Then we state that, it's got to be updated and it's got to be re-entered. This is where you're going to lose a whole lot more because they're not willing to do that. Yeah. So we need clear identification of the disputed item. So they send us over some mess and it's not clearly identified. That's one reason to dispute. Yeah. We're going to explain why it's incorrect. And then we're going to submit supporting documentation. It could be as simple as a name spell. I have seen that happen. And we submit some supporting documentation that shows that that's incorrect, what they have. It's really easy. And sometimes we can just dispute it and say it's not the person. We ain't got to send in no documentation. But if they don't answer us or respond to us within 30 days, that's another reason why it would need to fall off. Now, this stuff is coming off temporarily, but it's coming off long enough for you to be able to do whatever it is that you need to get done. Some of it comes off permanently. Yeah. All right. So after we've done that, if we haven't gotten favorable results, now I can say that we had a situation where we did a conference call with one of our clients. I won't go into the details, but there was something on her report. She had a situation where she had to leave her living quarters where her husband was, and she was protected under a certain act in law. And but the landlord was trying to make her responsible for the rent as well when they had already told her that she was going to be exempt from the rent. So we sent them the letter that they had sent to her. We spoke to them. We did a conference call with them, me, her, and them on the phone. And then it went up the chain, and it turns out that that particular item was removed from her credit report, and that was like over a $5,000 debt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what you have to know is when they start removing this stuff from your report, that's when you and I need to move full speed ahead into the processing of your mortgage loan to purchase whatever real estate you have already made an offer on or intend to make an offer on. So let's move us to the next dispute letter. Okay. That the next dispute letter that would be involved is a 623 direct dispute letter. Yeah. That's a furniture dispute. So let me explain what that means. So we're this the objective of this letter, this 623, is to dispute information that's directly involved with the creditor or the data that's been furnished to us. Right. Right. So if, whether it's coming from the creditor or whether they've got a third party involved, whoever furnished that information, we're now going to directly dispute that information under the section 223 in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And we're going to use the 623 direct dispute letter to do so. So whenever an error originates from the creditor, not from the bureau, but from the creditor, we send that letter out. The other two letters could specifically be based on something that the bureau has, that may be like that very first 609 letter. That's documentation that we use to list any type of information that has to do with the account or the debt. And sometimes that can involve bureau errors. Okay. Yeah. So on that letter, the credit bureau has to respond within 30 to 45 days. That's for the bureau. But now when we get to this particular document that we're talking about, this 623, this is going to be coming from the creditor or the third party that they have involved. Okay. Yeah. All right. And in that letter, we're going to ask for the account details, the nature of the dispute, and we're going to talk about any supporting documentation that we may have. Now, remember, again, we can just dispute it. We can send out a dispute letter for the bureau and a dispute letter for the creditor. Yeah, we don't have to state any supporting documentation, any foundation. Always remember that. And the reason why it's worth it is because sometimes they may not respond in the timely manner and they go outside of the statutory time of limitations, and that's going to rule in your favor. Yeah, and it can benefit you. Okay. So there are some forms that we use when we're talking about disputing challenges or errors by the bureau that we send out. And then there are some forms that we use to send out, like we just said, to request certain documentation from the bureaus to substantiate what it is that they're saying. Then there's a letter that we send out directly to the creditor. We just talked about that 623 letter. Then we have our identity theft affidavit that we can send out saying this is just not our account. This is just not our client's account. That's called an FTC letter. Okay. Yeah. That's an FTC letter. And we use that to report fraudulent accounts. Yep. Yeah. All right. So I want to make sure that you understand those step-by-step letters that we send out. Now, there's one thing you can do is you can go in for your annualcreditreport.com. Visit annualcreditreport.com. And in that, you can request a free copy of your credit report. Sometimes you have to say that you've been declined by credit. And in some cases, you don't have to be declined for credit. It's just you're due a copy of your annual credit report each year. Yeah. And you get a chance to download it from Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. It's gonna, then what you can do, you can go through there and you can identify any errors, any unverified items. You can look for outdated debts, duplicated debts, incorrect statuses. Yeah. If you see anything there, again, we're going to send out a 609 letter to ask for verification of any questionable items. right? Then we're going to send out a dispute letter. Yeah. Then we'll send out a letter to contract the creditor directly. That's that 623 letter that we talked about. Okay. I just wanted to go over that again and again to help you understand it's a simple process. It is a separate fee. And then, what we do is we keep track of everything that's being sent out. Yeah. And the reason why your fee is what it is because it pays for the time and the services, and the know-how, the expertise to get it done. But it also pays for like any certified mails that needs to go out that requires receipts. See that there's a cost in that. That's why you charge, and that's also why you pay the fee up front because that certified mail, those certified mailings are mega expensive. And so you have to pay for those to cover that cost that's involved, even before we talk about our services. Okay. All right. We follow up consistently to find out if they haven't responded to us within 35 to 45 days, then we send out a different correspondence letting them know, hey, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, you guys didn't respond within a certain amount of time. Does that make sense? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So I have also a way that I do this where you just pay me a flat fee. And once you pay me that one-time fee, I can give you those letters. Yeah, I'll give you the letters and you can send them out yourself. I can give you the letters along with instructions. Like, for instance, if you're going to send out the 609, you want to send it certified mail, first of all, to each one of the credit bureau, each one of the credit repositories. You want to send it to them. Then you want to include a copy of your identification and proof of your address. You send that along with your letter when you send it out. Yep. Yep. And then the dispute letter for disputing the bureau and the other dispute letter for disputing the creditor. The 611 form is the one that you would send out to dispute any information that may be on the credit report that you disagree with. And you're going to send it to the credit bureau that's reporting the error. So it might not be each one of the repositories. It might be one specifically. You'll send it to them, include a copy of the credit report that you're referring to with the highlighted areas that you are disputing. Even if it's been on there too long, if the reporting information is wrong, put all that in there and then track their response. They need to respond within 30 days. Okay. Then with that 623 form, again, we're going to give you a copy of all these letters if you want to do it that way. If you don't want to pay me a monthly fee and you just want to do it yourself, we walk you through it. Yeah, because we just want to help you get into your real estate. We want to help you with your corporation, to grow your corporation. That's what we're concerned about. That's what we're in. We're in it to help you win it. Does that make sense? Because when you win, we win. Yes. All right. So when you're requesting an investigation regarding a correction, you're going to be sending that directly to the client, to the accreditor, and that's a 623 direct furnisher dispute letter. That means you're going to send it to either the collection agency or the creditor that has issued this information to the credit bureau. You'll send that documentation to that creditor's address. You're going to include all the supporting documentation, your ID, your proof of address. You're going to send the documentation that shows that they have listed this on your report, any documentation that you got from the bureau to show that you are disputing it. And then lastly, identity theft affidavit. Yeah, that's when there are some fraudulent accounts on your report and you're stating, hey, this is not mine. This is not mine. Uh-huh. So the way that you do that, or any inquiries that shouldn't be on your report, your legal basis for that is going to be the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Yeah, yeah. And you want to use that FTC letter along with a complete affidavit, a statement that you're going to write, if it's a credit card and you're saying you didn't open it, go ahead and report it to the police department that this is a card that I didn't open and file a police report. Yeah. Send both the credit bureau and the affected creditors. You're going to send one to the credit bureau, and then you're going to send one to any of the creditors that's involved. Like it's a credit card, you didn't get that credit card, you didn't sign for that credit report card, you reported a police report. We're going to have the police report along with a completed affidavit, along with this FTC form that I will give to you so you can complete it. You're going to send it to the credit bureau and to whichever creditor is involved. Does that make sense? All right. Okay. So these are just ways that we can assist you, that we can help you with these things. I'm going to stop right here, but I wanted you to know that we do offer this service. I've told it to you before. I have even sent you guys the link to the companies that we use. Excuse me, the link to, yeah, to the credit monitoring services that we use, so that you can sign up for the credit monitoring service. They charge you a fee, but you sign up for the credit monitoring service and then you send me your login information. I go in, take a look at your credit report, and then begin to set you up to have these letters sent out in your behalf by our company via certified mail. Or if you don't want to pay that fee to us to get it done, you can just pay us a one-time fee. I can get you all of these necessary forms, as well as any affidavits that you would need to prepare, give it to you, and you can send them out yourself and monitor all of this. This is a service that we provide. Why do we provide it? Because we're trying to get you ready to be able to purchase big ticket items, i.e., real estate, through your corporation. Okay. And remember, all this stuff that we just talked about is based on the Fair Credit Reporting Act involving individuals. Okay. Your individual credit. I hope this has been of some service to you, some benefit. I just want to tell you again, I'm Jacqueline Battle with Jacqueline Inc. Enterprise, and our opportunity is to provide an advantage to you and your corporation. That's what we're looking to do. Help participate in the continuance of the growth of your corporation. I hope this has been a benefit to you. Thank you.